Hello friends, welcome to English in My Way. How are you? Today I'm going to be sharing you some useful tips for you to be successful in your job interviews. I have promised to make more videos on job interviews in my first video and I will keep it up. So this is mainly focused for people who are actually new to the job market or who have very little experience. For those experience, you may be already an expert in job interviews, and but you can still try and follow these steps. Okay, so some might ask, are you a career coach? Are you an expert with interviews? No, certainly I'm not a career coach or I'm not an expert in interviewing people. But I've gathered all this information by through my personal experience. I have attended a lot of interviews. I have cracked few and I haven't cracked few, and I have been part of interviewing people, and also I have gotten a lot of feedback, and I talk to people, managers like who hire, and get their input on what they see in when they hire a candidate. Okay, so some of you might have a perception that you need to be technically strong and you need to outperform in your technical skills. That is actually not true. You don't, like, technical skills are okay, like, they do require technical skills. If in like, for certain roles the technical skills, what they look for is only 20%. For some roles like a developer role, like, they might look for a lot of technical skills, but suppose for a BA role, for a project manager role, or something like, on the management side, even for a QA, they don't look lot into your technical perspective. Okay, so don't focus too much on your technical knowledge, but focus on these things that I'm going to be sharing, that will portray you as a good candidate in compared to the other competitors that you will be interviewing with. So here are 10 tips that I will share with you. Okay, so I'm not going to be sharing questions and answers for your interviews. Okay, so I'm just going to share with you some skills that you must I keep saying skills, some tips that you must follow to be successful in interview. Okay, it's like, it doesn't start on the day of interview. It starts one day prior to interview, one day in prior to the interview. So what are the tips? Number one, have a good night's sleep. Friends, having a good night's sleep is important. It's not just before an interview. Any normal day you should have a good night's sleep in order for you to have a pleasant day the next day. Okay, so but if you do not sleep well, generally, like if you have too much work, but on the day before interview, make sure you have a good night's sleep, because sleep is very important. That will keep you mind relaxed and refreshed. Okay, so some people might have problem sleeping. Usually, like, I've had this, I'm just sharing. So I used to, like, sometimes I used to sleep at 11. I'm an early sleeper. I go to bed early, but some, like, there are times that I used to wait until like 11 p.m. to sleep, and that became a habit, and like, and I could not sleep before that. So what I usually do is I go to bed, like, suppose I have an interview tomorrow, I go to bed tonight at around 8:30. Okay, 8:30. I probably may not be able to sleep for until, like, another hour or 1.5 hours, even two. Like, until, if I sleep at 8:30, I may not be able to sleep until after 10:30 also sometimes. But at that time my mind will be little relaxed. I'll feel so relaxed. I'll start revising some questions. I'll start thinking about the interview in a good way that will help me realize some answers that, even though if you sit and think for days, you may not get answers to. So going to bed early is a good habit, especially before interview or even before exams. That's very important. Having a good night's sleep is very important. The next one is wake up early to a good music to have a pleasant day. You must get up early. Try to get up early. If you're sleeping at around, say, 8:30, and even though if you can't sleep until 10:30, so try to wake up at the latest by 6:30 a.m. 6:30 is a good time to wake up to a good music. Listen to a pleasant music. Okay, whatever the music you like I prefer to listen to some mellow, melodies. So try to try to listen to some pleasant songs and music, so that it'll keep your mind refreshed and you'll feel so positive, and and you will have that confidence to crack the interview. So the next one is avoid talking unnecessarily to others. The reason I'm saying to avoid talking unnecessarily to others is because suppose your interview is scheduled at like 11 a.m. in the morning, or let's say even like 1 p.m. in the afternoon. So by between the time you wake up and like 1 a.m., if you tend to talk to someone, if some and you call someone and just talk to them, and you tend to fight with them for no reason, right? We get into a fight with between friends, family, or whatever, right? And your day will be spoiled and your mood would be gone. So in order to avoid that, avoid talking to others unnecessarily. Just be yourself, just relax, think about the interview, think about good things, and keep listening to music if you can, if you are in a workplace, or where listening to music is allowed. Just do that. Okay, so that's a very, it'll have a positive vibe throughout the day, and you can do outperform in your interview. And the next one is dress for success. This is very, very, very important thing. You might ask, why does it play a vital role, dressing for success? Why do I need to wear formals for an interview? Okay, because the reason they ask you to wear formals is it'll build self-confidence for yourself. When you're so dressed up, when you're well dressed up, right, you'll feel so confident. Try once, there's a difference between wearing a casual and wearing a formal. You'll feel confident that you look good. When you're wearing a formal dress, we all look so professional and confident, right? That's why they ask you to wear formal dress, that is dress that is you in some countries, they expect you to wear blazer, in Western culture, usually especially they ask you that you wear a blazer, coat suit and all that. But in some countries like India, where I started my career, they just wear a formal shirt and pant, which is great for boys, and for girls they wear salwar. And in Western countries, girls or wear suit or some dress that's formal. Okay, so dressing for success is not just for the sake of the interviewer, for the appearance. It's just for yourself to feel confident, and also you will come out as a very confident person to the manager, to the hiring manager who will be interviewing you. Okay, next one is arrive at least 15 minutes prior to the venue, so that you can relax and calm your nerves. Okay, I usually arrive before 30 minutes, but 15 minutes is compulsory. I arrive 30 minutes because I want to relax. Before the interview, so that sometimes we can get late due to traffic, whatever reasons. You cannot give a reason to the interviewer that you are late because of traffic or whatever, right? I had a very bad experience in regards to that. I screwed up my interview, so I was procrastinating. I didn't know that I had to be early, so I was lethargic, and I wanted to go a little bit late, start a little bit late from my place, so that I can be sharp 5 minutes before the interview. But what happened was, there was a rainy day, and it was raining cats and dogs throughout the city. So I could not take the transit, the subway, which I usually take, which I planned on taking. So I had to book Uber, and unfortunately, that was due to the rain, the city was crowded and it was in traffic, and the Uber got late, and I arrived at least 10 minutes after my scheduled time. And the hiring manager ended up asking, "I thought you were not coming for the interview." That moment I decided I'm not going to get this job however I perform, because it doesn't show you as a person who's punctual. It doesn't speak good of you. Will you, if you are a hiring manager, will you hire someone who's not punctual? And the first impression has a long way to go, right? As they say, first impression is the best impression. So always be on time. So that's from then I started going 30 minutes before. Can you 30 minutes is too much, I know, but I try to go. I'm a paranoid, so I like, I prefer to go early 30 minutes, but I expect that you go at least 15 minutes so that you can relax, calm down, control, hold on your take a deep breath, calm your nerves and all that. So you'll feel so positive, and already you will feel like you're going to excel the interview. Believe me, it's going to work. And what a small tip I do here is, like, in order for you to look fresh, your face, 5 minutes before that, like you arrive 15 minutes, so you calm, like for 5 minutes, relax. I go to the 5 minutes before that, I go to the bathroom, like so that I wash my face and I clean it, like one more time, so that when you wash your face immediately, it looks so fresh immediately, right? So when they see you, it gives a glow that it sets a good impression. This is some tip that I wanted to share with you, so do that. Okay, so you're going 15 minutes before, and you're going to sit and relax for 5 minutes, and then you're going to go to the bathroom and wash your face and feel relaxed, and then you come back, and what you do is, next you either email the person who's going to hire you, or first you email. That's a professional way. Okay, and if you don't have an email, just have a phone number, just send them a text message rather than calling. Okay, the next one, what you should do, if you think it's if they are not responding, or if the message is not delivered, just give them a call, so that they are well informed that you are here prior to the interview, and it gives a good impression to them. So what you should do is, just don't call. The reason I asked you to call at the last is because they might be in another meeting, right? An important meeting, and they might think, okay, why is this guy calling, right? So do not call them until unless you cannot, the text message is not going, or whatever reasons, until unless they specify in the email or the meeting invite they send you for the interview. Okay, if they are ask you to call, just call them, right? But until unless specified, do not call them, because they could be in another meeting and that might disturb. Okay, so that's the one. The next one is, hold a smile when they first see you. This is very, very, very important, friends. Holding a smile is very important. Okay, I'm not asking you to laugh. Okay, ha ha ha, don't laugh. Hold a smile. Have a pleasant face. When they first see you, just smile and say, hey, good morning, how are you? Or good afternoon. And shake hands firmly. Okay, shake your hand firmly. That was the next next tip that I was going to give you. Have a firm handshake. Firm means like tight, so that it shows that you're confident. Only if you're confident, you will be able to shake your hands firmly. For example, you must see all the international leaders shaking hands, especially I wish to say Donald Trump. Okay, because I often observed the way he shakes his hand, he just holds the hand, but just don't grab his hand like this, the other person, just have a firm handshake that makes you shows that you are a confident person. It's a very good gesture that you're making. Okay, the next one is, this is going to be 6 steps I'm going to give you. So you are in the interview, you're making yourself comfortable. They give you a seat, and the interviews on the other side of interviewers on the other side of you, and you're this side. Okay, so they will start asking questions. What you must do while you're answering questions, these are the steps that I'm going to share with you. So the first tip I'm going to share is, while answering question, is listen to the question. Okay, listening to the question or what they are saying. Listening is very, very important. It's not just an interview, anywhere in a professional world. Listening to what others say is very important. You just don't assume, make assumptions without don't think too much about other things when they are questioning you. Just pay attention, listen. The next one is, take a minute to think. Minute is maximum. Don't take more than a minute unless and until specified. Don't take a long time to think. Okay, doesn't show good about it. Doesn't speak good about you. So like I would say the lesser you take is better. Lesser time you take, because they expect some like impromptu answers. The answer, like that, like they expect answers from you immediately. Okay, so but even until 1 minute, it's okay, right? So take a minute to think before you answer. And next one is important. Don't focus on the accuracy of the answer. Don't focus on the accuracy of the answer. Suppose they are asking some technical question, and if you're concerned about the accuracy of the answer, okay, then you cannot be successful in the job interview. Accuracy is important, but it is not 100%. When someone is hiring, and when someone is hiring talent, they always look for how you are able to handle the situation. It's not about how accurate you are, right? So how you're able to analyze the situation and how you're able to come up with an answer. Don't always think that people always expect 100% answer. They understand that they can mold you. Even though if you're not a technical person, you must show interest and enthusiasm to learn. That's very important, which comes to my next point: showing enthusiasm. Enthusiasm is very important, right? How, you might ask, how to show enthusiasm? That is, you cannot bring that artificially. Enthusiasm will come naturally. Okay, so if you are very much interested in the role, and if you're so much wanting to get that job, and you will feel so much energized, and you will feel so enthusiastic about it. So another tip that I received from one of my managers was like, she told me, like, I was so enthusiastic. I asked her, how did you realize that? Like, the first thing she told me was like the body language. They observe body language. She mentioned that if you sit in the tip of, if you sit in the tip of the chair, it means that you are an enthusiastic person. Okay, so that's a psychological thing. Okay, so I'm going to sit and show. Probably you may not be able to see, so I'm going to my couch and show you how that was, like, sitting in the edge. I'm going to show you. Wait. So imagine there is a table here. Just sit like this. Okay, so that means like I'm sitting in the tip. If you see, I'm tip. Okay, so sitting in the edge. So that shows the enthusiasm. That's a body language sign. Okay, so follow that if you want to, but don't focus too much on that. Don't focus too much on it, then you may not answer. So just keep that in mind, so that when you think of it, just follow that. Okay, the next one I want to share is the tip is, while answering question, have an eye contact with the person sitting. Okay, speak eye to eye. It's very important. Eye to eye contact is very important. Some people tend to see no, don't do that. Okay, have an eye contact. It's very important. So if 3 people are there, okay, suppose there are 3 people who are interviewing you. Okay, don't look at just one person. Okay, address all 3, like this, like this, like this. Okay, you should address all 3 of them. That's very important. And the next one is, final one while answering, is don't talk anything negative or complain about something. Do not talk anything negative or complain about something that will set a bad impression towards you. Even though they might say, okay, like, suppose they ask you, do you know this tool? If you say, if you say no, and they might say, yeah, that's a very complicated tool. Oh my God, I had a hard time. Okay, they might say that. But you should not say, oh, that was such a bad tool, I had a bad experience. Don't say anything negative. Like, that's just for an example. And don't even anything negative. Don't talk about anything bad. Don't complain about anything, okay, during an interview. Always talk positive, because that's what they are looking for. Be positive, talk positive, and everything positive will happen to you. And those are the things that you must follow while you're answering questions. And the last one that I want to share with you, the last tip for the entire process is like all you're done with everything, and and they will ask you, do you have any questions for us? Okay, rather like focusing on other things like salary, like work from home, or like on other external features, do not ask questions regarding that. Okay, though you can ask those questions after your interview, or you must have asked those questions before you applied for this position. Okay, during the interview, do not talk anything monetary, do not talk about working from home, do not talk anything that will put you that you are not flexible. Okay, that will portray that you are not a flexible person. Rather, you talk something very relevant. You can talk about the organization, you can talk about the role that you're going to join, you can talk about the team. Showing that if you ask all these, this is another way of showing enthusiasm. As I mentioned above, this is another way to show that you are enthusiastic, right? So these are the 10 tips that I wanted to share with you before you may want to go for an interview. This is mainly for newbies and for those who do not who do not have much experience attending interviews. Okay, so yeah, this is the thing. And again, I want to reiterate that those, if you're thinking people are looking for in those who have 90% mark, and those who are like technically sound, no, that's not your thoughts are not accurate. What they're looking for, people who they can train and mold, who can accommodate, who can be flexible with their work culture, and those who will adjust to their team members and their team. Okay, so when I'm talking about this, I want to share my personal experience that happened with me. So I got through a job interview. That was my first job. It's not in India. I'm from India, but this is not an interview from India. So now I'm living in Canada, right? So this is my first job interview in Canada. Okay, except that one I flunked so bad because I arrived late. This is the one that happened after that. This one I was a little bit prepared, and I did all these things, certain groundwork before I got in, so I was good there. So after I got there, after 4 months, after 4 months of landing in the job and started to work in the team, I asked that hiring manager, why did you hire me? Because I'm an inquisitive person, right? I wanted to know. That's why I'm able to answer these questions and share some tips with you. I went and asked her. Okay, so the first question she told me was the reason she hired them. She told me, the moment I saw you, I liked you. See, she didn't even interview me. She didn't even do anything. She didn't even know anything about me. She said, the moment I saw you, I liked you. Although she said this following that, although I had a person I interviewed who had the similar personality as her. Okay, she felt that there was another candidate who had the similar personality as her, but she preferred me over him. The reason being, she felt that I was coachable, and I had a pleasant smile, and I had a positive attitude. Okay, so why I say have a good sleep, have a pleasant day, don't get into argument with anyone before, because that day I had a pleasant day. I was so positive, and that showed on my face. And when you smile, when you greet them, and people can make out, right? They are not people who are hiring managers, they are not someone junior. They are in that role for a long time, and they know how this culture works. So remember to always have a positive attitude in your work culture, not just in not in work environment, just everywhere else in life. It's important that you hold a smile all the time. Smile is very important. But don't smile all the time, it might portray you like an idiot. Okay, smile when needed. Always stay positive, stay pleasant, and that will get you, that will land you at a greater place. Okay, I hope you benefited out of this video, and I'm sure you're going to rock your interview. All the best, And thanks for watching. Now I'm going to call Patsy to say a goodbye. Hey Patsy, come on. Hello. Hello. Come on. Come. Come on, Patsy. Come. Come on. Okay, come. Bye. Bye. Okay friends, if you like the video, please like it, share it with your friends, and do let me know what you think in the comments below. And remember to hit the bell icon to receive immediate notification. Thank you for watching. Have a wonderful day. And remember, our channel is all about inspiring people to be confident.